This, ladies and gentlemen, is the German police walking around outside with a 6-foot long pole, measuring in between people to make sure they are staying 6 feet apart. These people are masked, these people are likely vaccinated, and these people are dealing with these Gestapo thugs who are walking around with a 6-foot pole outside. And if you didn't think that was bad enough, get a load of this. The same German police have just arrested Santa Claus. Yes, because he wasn't wearing a mask. He's outside, he's unmasked, and that doesn't stop them from grabbing him and arresting him. And you would think that the German police in particular probably have a little bit of a public relations issue when it comes to acting like these Gestapo thugs, but hey, here we are, just going ahead and arresting people for not wearing a mask and walking around with 6-foot poles and force vaccinating their populations, just as many other countries are around the world. And do you guys remember this? Maybe you don't, maybe you've never seen it before. Anti-vaxxers, this is an article from Vice, are terrified that the government will enforce a vaccine for coronavirus. And I don't know if you could see this or if I'm blocking it, but this was put out on February 28th, 2020. This is a long time ago, guys. This is right back from the beginning. And it says here, anti-vax groups on social media are claiming that the spread of the disease will lead to mandatory vaccinations and unlimited surveillance. Again, this is way back on February 28th of 2020. So I was curious, what was I posting back then? I went to my YouTube dashboard here, and I'm looking back in January of 2020. I see here on January 23rd and 24th, I put out these videos, the truth about the coronavirus, they hope you'll never see. And then this one in the following day, information about the vaccines. And so before their article came out, we get to here. February 14th, 2020, Del Bigtree on the coronavirus and the coming mandatory vaccinations. And would you look at that? It's been removed from YouTube. It had 70,000 views. But here is the only place on the internet where I can actually find a copy of this. This is it. This is back in February 14th of 2020, where we are discussing the coming mandatory vaccination program. This is not only like a long time before the actual mandatory vaccine programs would come about, but this is before, this is February 14th of 2020. This is before the general population was even slightly concerned about the coronavirus. I tried to search this one on my website, guys. I looked at Del Bigtree, and there's this one, the exact same title, the Highwire Del Bigtree Censorship and the Coming Mandatory Vaccination Program. But then when you go to it, it's actually this other interview that I did with him later in the year. So I'm not exactly sure about what the mix-up was happening there. But at any rate, thank you to altcensored.com for having the foresight to back up all these videos way back then, knowing that they were probably going to take them down. But guys, if you haven't seen this one, be sure to watch it. Once again, February 14th of 2020, me and Del Bigtree talking about the coming mandatory vaccine program. Back then, a couple of weeks after my videos came out, we have Vice saying these anti-vax groups are claiming it's going to become mandatory someday, and lo and behold, here we are, folks. Here we are. So today, here's some of the headlines we're going to look at. COVID-19 vaccine inequality is what allowed for the Omicron variant to emerge. No. Don't worry about the fact that the 4 people in Botswana who were the originators of this, all 4 were vaxxed. No. It's because of communism not thriving, which is why the Omicron emerged. So we're going to look at that, guys. We'll also look at the fact that the FDA says it's now going to take 75 years to fully release any of the Pfizer COVID-19 vaccine data. So they want you to trust the science, but they're not going to release the science for another 75 years. Go figure. This is a pretty bizarre move, and we're going to look at why something like this would be done. Norway bans serving of alcohol as it tries to slow the Omicron outbreak. Norway will ban the serving of alcohol in bars and restaurants. Prime Minister Jonah Gore said, as part of the new COVID-19 restrictions intended to stem the spread of the Omicron coronavirus variant. So we're going to look at how exactly they think banning the sales of alcohol is going to help defeat Omicron. But there's also this very, very interesting piece I wanted to point out to you guys. Supreme Court judge says that gay rights case proves the vaccine mandate is illegal. In a dissenting opinion, Supreme Court Justice Neil Gorsuch uses the court's decision in favor of an anti-gay baker to support his belief in religious exemptions to the vaccine mandate. So really good, interesting point that this judge makes. So we're going to look at all of this stuff and much more, guys, in this video.